Here we go. Back again. It is day 312. Dom, how we feeling?
Feel conflicted after this weekend. It was a wild one, following along with the draft and everything. A lot had happened. Some things have changed, but mostly a lot has not changed, shockingly.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Death taxes, the Ravens having a boring draft. A boring, safe
yeah,
draft.
good for you. I wish I could say the same, and we'll
It's
get
the
into
usual
that.
stuff here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same old here. All right. Well, yeah. Few, before we get into our winners and losers here of the weekend, or call it the off season, if we want
Mm,
to,
hmm
since it feels like at this point, the off season's really over. Outside of the random signings that'll happen over the next couple months here and inevitable trades, everything like that. But let's just start with, just for the sake of it here, Cardinals kind of throwing the curveball and snagging Jeremiah Love.
I mean, here's the thing. I don't really think it was much of a curveball. We just ignored what they were saying they were going to do.
That's true. I don't think anybody believed it.
No, exactly. Basically, David Bailey had been there. I think David Bailey was the pick. I 100% believe that.
That's fair.
If David Bailey wasn't there and they wanted to trade out, nobody wanted to come up to three, which tells me a few things. The league doesn't view Arvell Reese in the same light that we view him. We view him as what could be a great pass rusher, but he's not there yet.
He could be a great pass rusher, but he's still going to be. He's probably going to trend towards.
Off-ball linebacker now,
Yeah, like
especially with his landing spot, which
yes.
is a whole insane scenario.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I mean, the second the Jets took David Bailey, I knew this draft was going to go down to a fucking rabbit hole that I wasn't ready for. So
Yeah, yeah. It
boom,
got
bang,
really
bang
weird after
happened.
that.
And then the Titans go, shit, Jeremiah Love isn't on the board. Let's
Mm-hmm.
draft Tate, which
Yeah.
I never would have guessed in a million years. The thought crossed my mind, sure, but I was like, you're not drafting this wide receiver at four. Because in
Yes.
my personal opinion, he's not worth the fourth overall pick. If I'm the Titans, I'm going defense. I have a defensive minded head coach. I'll get my wide receiver in the second round, which they could have. They could have got Denzel Boston top of the second.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless of all of that, leads to the Giants taking Arvell Reese at five, which is insane because they already have three top end edge rushers. You can't have a fourth in that. It's just mathematically, it's not going to work. You're
Mm-hmm.
just wasting a pick. So he's going to play a lot of off ball linebacker going into next year. Next
To be
season, maybe
fair,
into
I
next
do
season.
think he's going to do a good
But
job with
he's going
that.
to do a great job
He's going to
because
be
you
very
can
good in that role, but
you can
like
use him in a lot of different packages. You
you
can
said
rush him
too,
up the middle. It's
it's
fine.
taking him at 5
Yeah,
to do that is
so it's just
a lot.
it is a lot. So I think you're also stunting his development by doing so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
And then them
Very,
coming out,
very interesting.
yeah, then them coming out and basically stating we're not trading Kayvon Thibodeau, which I get that sentiment, but you're also keeping Kayvon Thibodeau from getting to his potential by having him
And
be
you're
in
still
basically
trying
this
to
consistent
develop
cycle.
Abdul Carter.
You just need to figure out your path. Like, I love Arvell Reese. I think he's a great player. Taking him at five and then going Francis Mauigoa at 10, like, I get it. You're playing off of what the team needs to strengthen the most.
Mm-hmm.
Do I agree with those picks fully? No, no, but your team is better because of them.
Yeah,
I just
it
think,
it felt like a hardball draft.
yeah, I think you definitely could have focused on different areas that would have benefited your team a little bit
Mm-hmm.
more. But
He's just used to drafting the late teens into the 20s, where it's a lot easier to just kind of go BPA.
yeah,
This is just a little bit different of a situation for him, but again, still arguably best player available in some of those spots. I was shocked
Hmm.
that they didn't end up with Downs,
Yeah, I mean,
especially when he was still on the board for them at 10. Like, that just felt like such a slam dunk for them, for Harbaugh to make that pick, everything like that. Like, it all just felt like too obvious.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and then continuing down that board, I mean, most surprise pick is at 13, Ty Simpson going to the Rams, and we're gonna get into that here in a bit.
Yeah,
Um,
that was bananas. Absolutely
I
bananas.
mean, there was a lot of just wild things that occurred. There was no big trade either in this draft. No team
Mm-mm.
jumping 10 plus spots.
That's
It was
what,
all
yeah. When you and I
little
were talking about
trades.
that, when we were doing our mocks. I was just like, it doesn't feel like anybody's going to get like overly aggressive just because of kind of how this draft is. That there's everybody's looking at you know 4 or 5 picks out, going, all right, well, we got 2 options here or 3 options here. Okay, 2 of our guys went. We know that somebody in front of us is going to try to snag this. Like, now we have to jump up 3 spots.
Yeah.
Like, what was
Um,
the biggest one? Was the biggest one the
Eagles,
Eagles trade? Yeah.
I potentially, unless
And
it
they
is
jumped.
the Titans or Jets coming back into the first, one of the two.
Yeah, that's fair.
They're about the same. It's like 4 spots, 4 or 5 spots, both of them.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like similar. I mean, the biggest value trade is probably Chiefs jumping up to 6 value wise, but spot wise, it's one of those 3 trades.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
No,
a couple reaches there in that little bit of a stretch there.
yeah. I mean,
Like,
if we would have just listened to the tea leaves, the draft kind of went exactly how everybody was saying it was going to go. Run on tackles in the teens,
yep.
wide receivers fell. We just
Yeah,
didn't
much more than
pick
I
it
was
up.
expecting.
Yeah, you just didn't pick it up. Only 5 went in the first round, and 2 of them went in the back end of the first in
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't
KC and Jamar.
remember, I don't think I had an aggressive amount.
I think we both had 6. The only
Did
one
we?
that didn't go, yeah, only one that didn't go was Boston. I think you had Boston higher than I had him.
No, I had 5. Yeah, I had 5 receivers in my first round
Did you?
there, but
Uh,
again, just not the right 5.
you had
I
Boston
had
over
Denzel
KC.
Boston.
Yeah, yeah. I think
I was gonna
Boston
say,
I had
yeah. I
falling
mean,
off at the
I
end.
wasn't, just for the sake of it, I'm not mad at how my board ended up there. My mock
You're just
finished.
disappointed.
I'm not mad about it. We
Yeah,
were we were right there on a lot of them.
yeah. I missed a
I feel like,
couple.
yeah, like, obviously both of our big misses were Jermon McCoy
Yeah,
and
but so was
McNeil
every
Warren.
other. So was every other mock drafter.
That's fair.
Those picks are gonna happen. You go back a year. How many people penciled Shador into the first round? He fell to the fifth.
Well,
You go back 3 years.
I
How
was
many
gonna say
people penciled
even
Malik Willis as a top 10 pick? He didn't go into the third round.
even like Peter Woods from one year to the next was like penciled in as the top 5 pick, and then Chiefs
Took him at 28, and he wasn't
20,
even,
yeah,
or whenever they took him, he
29.
wasn't even supposed to go in the first round towards the end. So it was just like a lot of guessing games, and I didn't have Peter Woods in my first round because
Neither did I.
from what I was hearing and my understanding, he wasn't going to go. And stuff shifted at the end, and he ended up
Hmm.
getting pushed into the first.
I
It
think
happens
you
every
had
year.
what, 25 of 32.
I had one, two.
I was gonna say in terms of the right players, and then I was 24. You had one more than me, I believe.
I had 26.
26. And did I have 25 then? I
I
thought you ended up with
apologize.
one more than me.
Yeah, I did. I didn't have Colton Hood, Boston, Emmanuel McNeil Warren, Zion Young,
Yep. We had a lot of the same guys.
Jamon McCoy,
McCoy.
and I think that's it. And Caden McDonald. A lot of
Oh,
those
yeah, that's
guys,
right.
4 of
My
those guys went the first
misses.
8 picks in the second.
Yeah. My were, yeah, the ones you said, the McCoy, Hood, um, Avion Terrell, Denzel Boston, Zion Young, McNeil Warren.
Yeah, see, I didn't push
Yeah, so I
Kenyon
missed six.
Terrell
So
there.
6? Is that
You
right?
missed 6. I don't know. I wasn't listening.
6.
Then we tied with the amount we got in there.
Why did I feel like you had one other one?
So I didn't have Colton Hood. He went
Or one, I
top
mean, you had one other
Yeah,
one that, or
maybe that was
one
you.
more in there than I
Yeah.
did.
I think the last time we talked, it was like that.
Yeah,
But
something
yeah,
like
I
that.
ended up not having Colton Hood, Emmanuel McNeil Warren, Zion Young, Caden McDonald, uh, Jamon McCoy. Maybe I did only have 5, and I'm just 1. Oh, Denzel Boston. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I had 6 that I missed.
Yeah. Then I think we are. We were on the same side there. Oh, wait. No. Lomu. Oh, no. Yeah, Lomu did go in the first. Just
Yeah,
kidding.
Lomu went to the Patriots.
That's right. All right.
I'd
Well,
have
fuck
to
it.
look at yours again, but
Yeah,
it's
it's
not a
making
big
my
deal.
head hurt now. Trying to figure that out. Anyway, the more fun side of this one here. We got the biggest winners and losers. We kind of alluded to it. He's on my winners list here. And I do think this is the biggest one here. Ty Simpson. That's the biggest winner of the weekend. For sure. Um, Gets picked up by the Rams, shockingly, at 13. I don't think any of us made any sense. I was talking to my wife in that time because right before they made that pick, they cut to Ty Simpson. I was just like, oh, yeah, this is like the whole conspiracy theory that he got invited to the draft, so they had somebody that they could keep putting the camera on when he inevitably fell out of round 1. And then 90 seconds later, picks in, and
He's walking on stage.
he's walking onto the stage. And I was like, I'm sorry, what now? From his perspective, great night. Went way higher than anybody expected him to. Made a lot more money than anybody was expecting him to. Gets Sean McVay, the Rams, just organization, those weapons, everything. Like, he's definitely loving life right now.
Yeah, I mean, he is put into the best situation. Sit behind Stafford for 2 years, learn the system, truly develop into a true NFL caliber quarterback. Um,
It's the best
yeah,
shot to do it,
you
for
can't.
sure.
Yeah, you can't ask for a better situation, especially in the next 2 years. You have to assume the Rams are going to add more pieces to that room, make it more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm going to talk about one of my losers now, which coincides with yours, which is
Mm-hmm.
the Rams' immediate future. Everybody expected the Rams to add to this offense and add to this receiver room and or Kenyon Sadiq for an inline tight end, not inline, just a receiving tight end, and just truly have all the weapons capable for Stafford and company. And then that was the talk of the town. Nobody penciled in a pick besides Mekhi Lemon for the last month to the
Mm-hmm.
Rams. Nobody had Ty Simpson. People were talking about Ty Simpson maybe going at the back in the first. No one thought as high
And
as
it being
38.
one of the bad teams trading back up just to get the 5th year option.
Exactly. Everybody did not expect Ty Simpson to go 13, except the Rams, who knew they were doing this for the last 2 months. This was always their plan. They never deviated. They never thought otherwise. So the only way they weren't going to take Ty Simpson is if he got drafted before 13, and they knew that wasn't happening.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, absolutely insane to me because, I mean, as far as I know, they are the favorites
correct, yeah,
to
they're
win the Super
still
Bowl. And they felt like
favorite,
they were,
top
I mean,
favorite.
yeah, they were great last year. That's still a great roster. But, like, last year, it felt like they were just like a piece or two away
Hmm.
because NFC Championship game was close with the Seahawks there. Like, it just, it felt very, like, greedy where we know we need to plan for the future with Stafford, and we're great now, so we'll just do it now rather than try to make the most out of this. Like it is, there's different ways to manage your team, and there's what the bad teams need to do, which is just anything and everything,
Yeah,
and gain as much talent as possible. And then what the majority of teams should be doing is balancing immediate impact versus planning for the future. And then there's the rare instance, like the Rams are in right now, where you have a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback at the end of his career where you should just be going all in because he's still playing very, very well. And you've kind of built this whole brand on fuck them picks, and now you're choosing to use that asset to plan for 2029.
yeah. I mean, Les Snead even came out and said if Ty Simpson doesn't even play on his rookie contract, that's a huge win. And I'm like, then what the fuck was the point
Then
of
what
the
was the
pick?
point? Yeah.
So like it's such a contradictory term, and I just don't love what it is because you're gonna start getting antsy. We invested a heavy asset into this guy.
You
If
did it
he's not our
because, yeah,
if
you
he's not
did
our
it because
starter by
you're
year
never going to be
three,
drafting that high. Yeah.
yeah. If he's not starting in year three, that's a fail. You have failed him. You didn't fail Stafford, you failed Simpson because he's not your quarterback by year three. And you invested. It's not like he was picked 28, he was picked 13. If
Yeah.
he was picked 28, go the Jordan Love route. I don't give a shit. But
Exactly.
he's
I was going to
picked.
say Jordan Love, it's, if you
It's
want to throw that
different.
comp in there,
It's
he
the same
was
thing with
in the
Rodgers. Rodgers
20s.
taken in the mid to late 20s. But
Yeah.
when you have a guy that you took at 13, you're saying, okay, I believe in him enough to take him here. We are setting ourselves up for the future. Then he needs to be your future in the first 3 years of his contract
Hmm.
because I want to see something before I decide if I'm going to pick up the fifth year option.
Yeah.
Because if you don't see him in year three, how are you going to know if it's worth it to continue?
Hmm.
You're just going to blind eye it, pick that fifth year option up? No. And if you deny that fifth year option, that's even more counterintuitive to what you did.
Yep.
I just
It, no,
I
it,
just
it,
it's
bad
mind-boggling to
business.
me. Yeah.
And then on top of that, it just felt very awkward
Yeah,
with
100%
between
because
McVay and Snead in the war room,
you
in press conferences. It just, that looked like a Snead pick, and McVay didn't love it, even though
it very
they
well could
talked
have been.
about it. They there's that's still his guy. Everything he said about that, and it just, none of it sat right. My big brain take is this. I think very much leaves the door open for when Stafford goes,
McVay
McVay is
goes.
going to Amazon or
I
NBC
think
or whatever.
I think McVay, if he could very well just do the Tomlin thing, take a take a year off, and if you want to come back to it.
Mm,
That's that. Nothing else, simple play. Again, I don't necessarily see that. He has a love for the game that is
He's a psycho,
insane,
but I think
and
he
I
knows
get
that
it.
he's a
But
psycho and that he will let it completely consume him. And I don't think he necessarily wants that.
yeah,
Just kind of the way he presents himself and carries himself and everything like that. Like it doesn't
yeah,
feel like he definitely has the old school mentality
yeah,
of just
100%
being
does.
completely and utterly obsessed. But he's got enough of that like Bruce Arians in him too, where
Hmm.
he's like, I also don't want it to completely consume everything going on in my life.
Yeah, I mean, he's a wife, he has a kid, young
Mm-hmm.
kid, so like he has other things going on. Now, what his future decision is going to be, obviously it's up to him, but I think it's tough to see that Rams team without Sean McVay.
No,
So
100%.
I
I
think
like I said, I think this opens the door for that
sure
because he's going to be watching him in practice, and if he knows, okay, Stafford, this is the last ride, we're going to pour everything into this. At the end of it, goes, this is what I have to deal with,
I don't know.
and
It,
jump
it's
ship.
gonna be yeah, it's gonna be interesting conversation to have in 2 years, but right now it's all just that speculation that we have. My first winner on my list is the future quarterback of the Jets and the Browns. Both these teams invested heavily in their offensive weapons the first 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
So the Jets drafted Kenyon Sadiq at 16, and then they traded back up to 30 to take Omar Cooper
Also,
Jr.
love Kenyon Sadiq. That pick made zero sense to me.
No sense, no sense. You take if they would have taken Makai Lemon at that pick, and then I mean Sadiq wasn't making it back to the back end of the first round, but regardless, that's a team that's drafted heavily into the tight end position over the last few years. They took Mason Taylor last year in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
So you took, but again, I don't view Sadiq as a true tight end. I think you play him more in the slot role as a big slot. That's kind of where he lines up. So like the Jets now have Garrett Wilson on the outside. You can line up Amar Cooper uh, at the slot or the outside position, and then you'll also have Sadiq who can play at the tight end role or in the slot on
Mm-hmm.
wider down. So it's just you have more pieces to work with. The Jets still have Brees Hall. It's unfortunate that they don't have a true quarterback to really work with, and it's Geno again. Like he could be something. He you could get a lot out of Geno this year. But the issue with New York is, do you really want that? Do you really want to risk that to be the case? Because if
Yeah.
Geno plays like he did even
In
two
Seattle.
years ago,
Yeah.
you're not. I'm not even talking like 3, 4 years ago in Seattle. I'm talking 2 years ago, his last year there. You're still going probably at worst 7-10. That knocks you out of any potential to draft what could be a game-changing quarterback for your franchise.
Honestly, could be a blessing in disguise for them because when they are drafting in the top five, they always pick the wrong one anyway.
True, but
So
now you don't even have
maybe picking a
options.
guy that slides a little bit might be the better option for them.
Potentially, it's next year's draft. We'll get into it in a different episode, but yeah, and then
Yeah, and
Cleveland
yeah.
goes on and drafts Casey Concepcion, who's a nice slot-esque receiver, can play a little on the outside if asked to, but works better out of the slot. And then Denzel Boston, who is truly a just giant X, which they desperately need. So now they have Boston, Judy, and Casey Concepcion. Still have Harold Fannin from last year.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a ton of pieces to work with. Unfortunately, your quarterbacks right now are Shadur and he who shall not be named. So
Junior.
you have, yeah, so you have two guys who aren't your future there. So you have to hope that you're set up and positioned well to get that. I feel like we have this conversation every 3 years with Cleveland
I was gonna
because
say, yeah. I mean, like
it's nothing
Cleveland
new.
and the Jets. If we're being totally fair, draft really well.
They
80,
can.
85% of their draft picks are good picks. or
They
smart
are.
picks. They
The
just miss at the most important spot.
it's not even that necessarily with quarterback. Obviously, they miss. I mean, technically, they didn't in the 18 class. Like you have Baker, who is still a starting quarterback in the NFL, and then
That's
you
true.
also have Sam Darnold, who just won the fucking Super Bowl in Seattle.
Yeah.
That's not their problem. Their problem is
It's
developing
yeah,
and
poor
the coaching
coaching
staff
and
that they put around. It's everything
bad
else.
impatient ownership.
So like you have on paper value picks, but when you play them into that system and you're not developing them properly, then it goes sour. So yes, I think you could have your future offense with both of these teams and how they operated this weekend.
Mhm.
I lean more towards what the Jets did in setting them up for the future than what I believe with Cleveland. I like
Really?
what the Jets have done. Correct. Yeah, I like what the Jets have
I
done
I
overall
like
these last few drafts. The Jets have a mean offensive line. They have their two bookend tackles for the next decade. Love that. They have now two receivers for the next 5 years. They have a true pass catching tight end, and they can run 13 personnel more now. So they have more options.
mhm.
They bettered their defense as well. They bettered their defense in free agency. Didn't really focus on it too much in the draft, but
Yeah.
you're able to set yourself up and position yourself up better. Cleveland, I don't trust Denzel Boston that much. He's not my favorite tight end. I've talked about that. Uh, Casey Concepcion, again, he's a little bit more athletic, a little bit more twitchy, but I think you need to find the right quarterback to get implemented in that system for it to truly work. I don't know if I fully trust Cleveland with that, but
I mean, I don't
I just
trust either one of those teams with
yeah,
getting the right guy at quarterback. I just
correct.
I kind of like what the Browns did um, in this draft with, at least with receivers like, you're not high on Boston, but you got guys that fit specific roles.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and
which,
again,
which
still,
is
like the
fine.
Browns, they at least have a foundation in a unit with just that defense, as good as it is. And they added to that in the draft here a little bit. I just, again, you keep making the wrong choice at head coach, and your owners are two of the worst in the league. Like, it's just hard to dig yourself out of that hole at that point.
Yeah, I get that. I just at minimum, I like the pass catchers. I like the fact they drafted two tackles. One of them is ready to go. Another one, little developmental.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll kind of see how that progresses for the future.
Mm-hmm. My next winner here, I have the Giants. Obviously, they had a great weekend combined with the offseason that they had.
Yeah.
Like, again, Arvell Reese kind of falls to them. And I talked, like, it does feel like an odd pick, but I also don't think they were expecting him to be there. And then when he was there, like, just too hard to pass him up. Um, even, did you see the clip of Neighbors
Yeah, yeah,
on the
talking about
podcast where he
Jordan
was just like,
Mason.
"Where, like,
Yeah.
it's not," or no, he was, yeah, well, that too, but he was just like, you know, where's he gonna play?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's not like I don't like the player. Again, should he be the one saying that? Probably not. But regardless, it's what we were all thinking. Um, but yeah, you get him, you get Maui Noah for just kind of bulking up that offensive line. Andrew Thomas, when he plays, it's a very good offensive line. When he doesn't, it's not good at all, and he
hmm
just misses too much time. Um, I like the Colton Hood
I
Hood
I
pick.
love the Colton Hood pick for them.
Yeah. Malachi Fields, I liked that pick as well. Um, this draft, combined with everything that they added in free agency and Harbaugh, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be really hard for me to not pick them to win that division when we get to predictions.
Interesting. It won't be hard for me. I know who I'm gonna pick pretty easily, but we'll talk about them here in a couple minutes.
That's fair. Yeah. I do not feel the same way there
Fair.
at
Very
all.
fair.
But yeah, I mean, I think Giants feel like a team that's making the playoffs for sure.
Yeah, I mean the Giants set themselves up very well for this draft. I mean it helps having two top 10 picks. I am terrified for their run defense because it's now gone.
Yeah.
You because when Dexter Lawrence was hurt last year and didn't play, they had a bottom three run defense.
Hmm.
You didn't do anything in this draft to fix that, unfortunately. And not their fault. You weren't gonna draft a D tackle or truly a run stopping defensive lineman in the top 10. There wasn't one this year.
Yeah.
And
I was
then
going to say, like,
at pick
Banks wasn't
37,
jumping that high up.
correct, yeah. No, he's not really a run stuffer anyways. And then at pick 37, Caden McDonald was drafted already. So you didn't even have that as an option. You had Colton Hood. So like
Yeah.
value wise, yes, that works. However, defensive line scares me. Other things scare me that they kind of didn't really focus on in this draft that I felt like they needed to. Malachi Fields, I don't love. I think he has his own issues. I I think probably focusing again on the defensive line there was probably a better option, but
Hmm.
there's only so much you can do at the end of the day.
Fair enough. Who's next on your winners?
I'm actually gonna jump down to my losers
Yeah,
again.
I'm
I'm
down for
just
that.
gonna go back to back here. Hop frog it. My biggest loser this weekend is the Niners.
Yep. Yes.
And I know they're on your list
Agreed.
too, so we'll just double down here and just kind of shit on them a little bit. And this is kind of like a continuous thing with them. They just do not draft well, and
No.
I don't know why this is. I mean, you have
Even the process on it is
yeah,
odd.
you trade out of the first round. I get extra capital. You don't love the players there, that's fine. And the guys that you might want could still be available there, pick 33. Well, the guy would have been available probably at pick 70 when you picked again. Uh, Zon Stribling, I mean, he is a fun gadget-esque receiver. You can do a couple different things with him. He's a great kick returner. He's fast, but taking him at 33 is insane. You still had better receivers on the board in Denzel Boston, Jeremy Bernard. You had better defensive guys there, like cornerbacks. You could have taken there really wasn't any offensive line left there. And I think that's probably one of the reasons they traded out was because of how quickly O line went in this draft. So,
Yeah.
but you could have taken a guard, you could have taken Jace Pasantis, you could have taken, I don't know, Caden McDonald, beefed up the front seven.
Yep.
There was more that you could have done with this pick than taking
I'm just
a
looking at
speedster on the outside and or
the
a kick
next
returner.
picks there, and there was a lot of options.
So what Pasantis goes forward through 34.
TJ Parker was right after
TJ
him. McDonald
Parker, yeah,
was
there it is.
36. Colton Hood right there.
Like there was just so many guys that you could have penciled into that pick, and I would have been like, that makes sense. And what's crazy is like there was a lot of analysts that knew this pick was coming at around like 5:30. They heard about it,
Hmm.
and I heard on Twitter, get ready for Niners pick at 33 because it is not what you think it is.
So weird.
So just out of nowhere. Even if you would have taken a tight end here, I would have got that a little bit more because
Hmm.
George Kittle is coming off Achilles. So like that kind of makes sense. But a speedster on the outside blows my mind.
No, and they consistently do this.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
was
and
Pearsall last year
yeah,
or 2 years ago,
two
whatever
years
that
ago.
was. Yeah,
But like
like
that's not even like the weirdest picks that they made. Like Romello Height, he's a pure DPR, and he's a little bit on the small side. Grayson Halton, smaller defensive tackle, short arms. Ephesius Prysock is a tall, lengthy outside cornerback, but he has footwork issues and he doesn't turn his hips fast enough. It's consistent. I'm confused at the pick. Jaden Duggar is probably their most interesting pick because of he comes from a small school. He was productive there. It's just he came from Louisiana. It's
mhm.
not your Power Five guy, but it's a name.
Don't knock those raging Cajuns.
Oh no, not at all, man. It's a guy who can produce. So potentially that could work out for them down the board. But like other guys on their list, I just don't get
Yep. No, I'm
because
with you. Like,
there's
I
probably somebody
feel
else who you could have taken there. And then
I feel
adding
like they would
Cameron
have
Black at
served
90.
themselves better, probably sticking and picking. Like, I understand trading out of the first
Yeah, I
round.
mean, you could have stuck.
Yeah,
I think Caleb Lomu was still on the board at that point, but if you
I
want
think so.
somebody who has a higher upside, I think they're probably looking to trade for like draft max
What was it?
Ian Officer
27? Is that where they were drafting
20. Yeah, 27.
originally? They traded with Miami, right?
No,
No.
I don't because they're Miami was drafting 20. Miami was drafting 30th because they traded with the Broncos,
Right.
and Miami drafted Chris Johnson.
Yeah, but they jumped up to take him. So I think it was two move backs, I think.
So them and Buffalo did two move backs, which is interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they
I mean,
did.
I
They
might have,
moved
but
back twice. Yeah, sorry, I'm looking at it again here. Yeah, so San Francisco was going to be at 27. They traded back with the Dolphins and then traded back again when the Jets jumped up for Omar Cooper. But yes, Lomu was on the board. Peter Woods was on the board.
I mean, Peter Woods would have been fine there. Uh, I mean, I think Caden McDonald probably fits their situation a little bit
Mm,
better. Peter Woods went to a perfect spot, truly,
yeah.
for himself, just to learn behind Chris Jones. And I'm gonna talk about this in a minute here because that's one of my winners.
I was going to say, yeah, we can jump
I
into
just,
them if you want
yeah,
to here because I was.
just overall with this, I just don't love the Niners draft and what they did. They just
I
talking about
consistently
taking
don't like what they're
value.
doing.
Yeah, they just did not do that. But I didn't like anything they did last year, and they made the playoffs. So God knows at this point.
To be fair, neither one of us were buying any of that.
No, no, they proved me right.
Yeah, right.
Jumping back to my winner side.
I was gonna say, yeah,
Steve
we could go
Spagnuolo. Uh,
perfect little transition here. The Chiefs and Spags.
Dude, Spags won big time in this draft. You're
Hmm.
adding um big big outside threat with Mansour Delane. Then you get Peter Woods at the back end of the first, who fits perfectly alongside Chris Jones, and having two bigger esque kind of just pure defensive linemen who can kind of be tweeners, jump to the DN, D tackle, whatever you kind of need them to be along that line. And I love it so much for having those options.
Hmm.
And especially because Chris Jones is getting up there, he's kind of declining a little bit. So having um uh Woods be able to sit, learn
I was gonna say,
alongside
yeah,
of him,
the
and
the
then be
the
able to take
teaching
up that
aspect
role.
of it there, yeah.
That's
I really
huge.
like the R. Mason Thomas pick too, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, getting that true, getting another pass rusher there at 40 is nice. Or Mason Thomas is like a
He was
DPR
good.
to a T. Like
He was
6'10",
good. He was one of those
244.
guys. He definitely did pop if you watched any Oklahoma game.
Yeah, yeah. I
Like,
mean, yeah, yeah.
he's one of those guys that, like, you did see him on the field a lot. Like, he was very noticeable.
Yeah. So
Um,
hopefully he transitions well in that system. Um, yeah, I mean, who else did they get here? Those were their three big names, but they mainly focused on defensive side of the ball with their first four
mhm,
picks. After our Mason Thomas didn't pick again until the fourth round, they took a safety out of Oregon there,
mhm.
and then they
And
went
then
over the offense side of the ball. But those are all dart throws. They finished it off with Nussmeier in the seventh to
feel bad for
potentially be a
Nussmeier
long.
getting buried there.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. That's your future backup, and then maybe he'll get a shot if something happens to Mahomes down the road.
Or if he's not 100% ready to go
Correct. I
to
mean,
start the year kind of thing.
he's definitely in playing to start the year. Um, I do like the Mansour, Delane, and Peter Woods pick. I think they fit perfectly into what Spag runs, and it'll be a big upgrade to what they had, especially along that front seven with Delane, Woods, and R. Mason Thomas.
Mhm. Yeah, again, I do love them getting Delane there.
Yeah,
Because again, like they've done such a good job with since Spags has been there, drafting and developing and finding guys in later rounds and turning them into great players. Them being able to get Delane at 6,
yeah,
arguably. Yeah, I mean, cornerback 1 in this draft at this point. Like,
100%.
it's a scary thought. Scary thought for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
I'll jump down to one of my losers here, and that is Jalen Hurts.
yes,
A lot of news coming out of Philadelphia, so expected. It's obviously not official yet, but expected that AJ Brown is going to be a Patriot post June 1 for financial reasons.
hmm
They are
and
waiting until then to do that.
correct.
And the very quirky moment in the first round with
Yeah,
them leapfrogging the Steelers and poaching Mekhi Lemon from them.
yeah, weird.
You and I
Just the
both
whole,
like Mekhi Lemon a lot. Yeah, that whole situation was bananas, especially
yeah,
watching that back then too. Um, but like Mekhi Lemon a lot, we said it would have made so much sense for him in LA because he would have fit that whole scheme really, really well. But his calling card is being a slot guy that finds the middle of the field and finds holes in the middle of the field. That's where
yeah,
he's at his best. And
yep,
Jalen Hurts does not throw over the middle of the field at all. And now he's losing his biggest target on the outside. Now, you have Dontavian Wicks, who is a big body, but
he's not AJ Brown.
he's not A.J. Brown. And
Mekhi Lemon and Dontavian Wicks combined don't do what AJ Brown can do for you.
exactly.
Like AJ Brown can play all over the field. He can play all three wide receiver positions. That is somebody you want.
Hmm.
Mekhi Lemon can only play the slot. He is designated strictly for the slot, which is fine. It's great to have that kind of a guy. However, you need a
He
quarterback willing
does,
to be able to do that for you.
right. He excels in what Jalen Hurts seemingly refuses to do.
Correct. So
And also, A.J. Brown just commands so much attention. And I like Devontae Smith a lot, but I think it's disingenuous to pretend like
he's a
he didn't benefit from having A.J. Brown on the other side.
correct. Now he's your focal point of that offense. Because
Yeah.
let's just be honest. Let's have a very honest conversation here. Saquon's not what Saquon was 2 years ago.
Right. And
He's a
you
good running back, but he's a year older. He's coming off of what was a down year for most running backs. And that offensive line is now a year older. Lane Johnson's turning 36. And then you still have question marks along the inside of your offensive line. That took
mhm.
a long time to answer last year.
And you didn't do much to address that
You
either.
took a developmental tackle in the third round with
In the
Markel
third
Bell.
round, and then a guard in the sixth.
Who was it again?
Micah Morris in the sixth.
Michael Morris.
Markel Bell in the third was
Yeah.
tackle, and then Micah Morris in the sixth.
So Markel Bell, he's what, 6'8", like 330, something like that.
Something like that.
He big
He
dude.
is. That's loading. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
6'9", 346.
346. Okay.
That's a big boy.
I remember seeing 6'8", so he's big.
6'9" and a
gonna
quarter is
He's
official.
gonna need a lot of work to get into true shape for the offense that the Eagles even run.
Mm-hmm.
They're not used to big guys like
Yeah.
that aren't uber athletic, who can
Yeah.
move fluidly. Like when you have Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson, who are two of the most athletic tackles in the NFL, because you run that fast-paced offense.
I mean, Jason Kelsey was a staple for that, and he was an undersized center.
And that benefited them because he was able to move up that field quicker because he
Mhm.
was athletic in that way. But now you got a freaking stone wall out there
Yeah.
who is potentially your future right tackle after Lane Johnson retires. Like, you drafted him to do that. I don't know. I just what they did just doesn't benefit
It's
their
been a
offense.
rough several months. I mean, the whole season was weird. I mean, and again, you can, to your point on Saquon there, like, you can talk yourself into, okay, we just had a revolving door on the offensive line last year. We dealt with it, like cluster injuries. Lane Johnson was never fully healthy. The scheme was weird. You move on from your coordinator, but you are completely beholden to you're only as good as your coordinators are, which isn't a great sign. And
you're
has continually been my gripe with Nick Sirianni, is that, you have Steichen, offense is humming, he leaves, it's clunky at best for a year. You bring in Kellen Moore, you win a Super Bowl, he leaves, it's weird again. Like, then that article comes out about Jalen Hurts, and kind of what's going on inside the locker room, that it isn't just Antonio Brown. Like, he's not alone. He's the only one saying things publicly. Or AJ Brown. I mean, how far off are we here?
Like 40 pounds.
Wait till he ends up on the Raiders, and then we'll see what happens there. But I lost my train of thought there. There's a lot of pressure on Sirianni and Jalen Hurts going into this year, and Howie, like we've talked about, part of what makes him great is there are not deeper rooted attachments to anybody, and you can be moved.
Yeah, that's super fair. Can't deny you that.
And he said, with this draft, go figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's super fair and reasonable. That kind of leads me into my next winner of this class, which is Jalen Hurts. Opposition, Dak. I think Dak is one of the biggest, if not the biggest winners of this class. You get the day of draft literally 2 hours before George Pickens to sign his franchise tag
Mm-hmm.
in a turn of events, which 3 days prior, people were thinking that Cowboys might draft a receiver. So you're able to do that. Now you have locked in for this upcoming season George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, no matter what. That's the best 1-2 punch in the NFL.
Yeah,
Then
for
you go
sure.
into that draft and you hammer defense. You get Caleb Downs, you get an edge in Malachi Lawrence, and you just turn the defense around. I mean, it is so different looking than it was a year ago after they
They
traded
took
Micah.
3 edge rushers in this draft too.
Yeah, because that's where they need it the most. You when you don't
Mm-hmm.
have those kind of players that make a difference truly, then you're kind of just in the mud, just hoping that something changes. So allowing yourself to have multiple guys come in and hopefully make a difference is huge. I mean, Jay Barham is a high riser in this class and had a lot of steam coming in. Potentially was going to be like a back end of the second kind of a pick. He
Mm-hmm.
went back into the third instead. It's probably great value. And then you got LT Overton in the fourth, who at one point a year ago was talked in the first round. He didn't have the drive that a lot of guys want. He's a size, he's a bit slower, but
Yeah,
he could be a good rotational guy.
I was gonna say, and
But
even the Drew Shelton pick I liked too for them. Gonna be a little bit of work there too, but like really athletic tackle. The complete opposite of what the Eagles did.
yeah, so you just have a lot of options now in that front seven because on top of that you have Rashawn Gary, you have Quinnen Williams now, and then linebacker is still a question mark, but you never got the value on it that you were hoping for. Actually, no, they
Mm.
traded. They traded for a guy from San Francisco. Damn.
Oh,
Yes. Shit. It's gonna bother me.
hold on. I'm on it.
All right,
Keep talking.
you look it up. But yeah, regardless, and then on top of that, you now have your true leader of the defense in Caleb Downs, which they have
D
desperately been
Winters.
looking for. Yes, they got Deep Winters, which isn't necessarily that high end linebacker that you're hoping for, but it's still a guy who you need. So I like that they were able to get out and do that because they
That
realized,
mixed with the pieces that they already had.
correct.
You know what I mean? Like Overshown when he's healthy is very good.
Very good.
He just
Because he,
needs to
he can
stay on the
cover
field.
and he can rush the passer. So you have a lot of names in that front seven that could become a true threat that you haven't had for the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
Your secondary got better with Caleb Downs. I think you're still missing a corner opposite of Deron Bland, but there's still names out
But
there you can
again, you
still
know,
sign for value.
you get Caleb Downs
Yeah, I
in
mean
this
you
draft. Like he's helping that secondary a lot,
yeah,
just across the board. Who
correct. Now,
again, I would put right up with Jeremiah Love as best overall prospect in this draft.
correct, yeah,
That's
that's one
just
and
me.
two. No. That is
Like
100% the top two.
I would lean Downs, but you got mad at me when I said that, so
No. It's an opinion.
no, it's
It's
fine.
not
It's
wrong.
fine. I get it.
But you may ask, how does this help Dak? Helps Dak get on the field more. Helps Dak be able to play and utilize that offense in the way that is needed to be utilized. Because when he's not on the
It
field
takes
and the
pressure
defense
off of
is,
them.
yeah, 100%.
I
I mean,
mean, that was the
it
thing with
makes
them last year is they went what 7-10, and it was most of it was just he needed to put 35 points up every week
yeah,
to have a chance.
yeah. So if this defense performs 50% better than it did last year, this is a 10-win team. 100%.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
definitely a
like I
playoff
said, I
team.
think it is between them and the Giants right now to win that division.
Sure.
And I feel
I think the
very,
Giants.
very confident in that.
I get that. I want to see more of Dart and just kind of feel more hopeful in that.
I just
But
think the boost that Harbaugh is going to give you in year one.
yeah, I want to make sure that Neighbors is healthy. You don't have Scattaboo for at least the first probably like 6 weeks of the season, and that even then he's still coming off of a gruesome knee injury. And then
Ankle.
the ankle, was it an ankle? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Remember his shit was just fucking
Oh,
hanging there.
uh, he might be
And
back then by start of the year. I forgot.
yeah, no, it was the ankle. Like
He's probably gonna be back then by the beginning of the
I'm trying to
season.
think. What week? Well, that was week like 6.
Was it? I thought
Yeah.
it was later. That was like November.
It was late enough because I'm trying to remember because it was kind of the same thing that happened to Godwin, and he didn't get going until like really get going until what was it, week 7 or something like that. And
This
his was
past year.
I think
His
earlier.
was really bad. His
Well, his it was basically the same thing: dislocate, fracture. I had to have the surgery and
surgery.
everything like that, but they were very similar injuries, and his was earlier than I think Scattaboo's was. So I think I would assume he's going to miss a little bit of time to start the year. I would
Okay.
assume that at least, but I am not a doctor either.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, I just like the Cowboys and kind of what they did and how this is going to benefit Dak in the long.
A very good drafting team. I will give them credit for that for sure. And then my last loser, because we kind of talked about the other ones here. Well, sorry, I have 2 more.
You're
Cardinals.
good.
That just felt weird.
Yeah,
For
weird.
as many like premium picks as they had, I just didn't like it at all.
Fair. It's fair. I mean,
Like, I get it. Taking Jeremiah Love, like I understand the sentiment of it. But
correct.
even still, like it still felt weird. Like I probably still would have gone Reese there.
Yeah.
Makes more sense to me to have something on that defense. Carson back in the 3rd round is
Wild. Top of the third round. First pick of the third round.
that just feels like organizational like malpractice, doesn't it? Because isn't he
Yeah.
also like 37 years old?
No, he's 20. Do you think he's 23?
Is he? Why did I think he got like 2 extra years of eligibility?
Yeah, he's 23, turns 24 in November. He played 3 years at Georgia and then his last 2 at Miami.
4,
He played 4 years at Bama.
5.
Oh, wait,
He played in one
what are
game
you yelling at me
in
for?
2020. Sorry, hold on. No, I was just like, oh shit, like there's a lot. I was just doing the math on it there. Yeah, he got there in 2020 through 2024, and then 2025 was in.
Yeah, 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 whatever. But yeah, he turns. I mean, he's definitely an older prospect because we talked about him coming out in the 23 class,
Yeah,
and then he had that injury, and then 24 he looked weird, and then here we are.
3
Was
years
it
later.
23?
I think
Maybe
23
we
was the
talked about him
one.
coming out of the 24 class, had that injury, went back, something like that.
I feel like it's been around. He's been around for way longer
Oh,
than he should have been.
100%. 100% he's been
But yeah,
around.
I just didn't like their draft at all. For again, like as many, they're drafting at the top of every round, and I feel like they consistently
Yeah, I
made
get
the
it.
wrong picks.
I love Chase Pasantis, so I can't really say that's the
That's
wrong
about
pick.
the only one I was gonna say. Is like that's like the only one that I'm like I get that, but outside of that, I'm like, eh,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
I get it. I'll talk about the other team in the NFC West, just kind of round out my losers here. The Seahawks, like what the fuck? I cannot. You've done this game before, taking a running back with the last pick of the first round,
Mm-hmm.
and it did not work. He lost his job to an undrafted running back.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna do this again when we've learned already that it doesn't necessarily matter. I cannot get behind that because you miss out on guys like
No, it made
Chase
no sense to
Bisontis
me.
who can immediately help your team along that offensive line. And I just don't understand it. Or Emmanuel McNeil Warren, you guys lost all your safeties. So like
Hmm.
or another cornerback and like Traden Stukes or Colton Hood who can help that secondary more. It's just consistently, I don't understand fully what they were doing.
Yeah,
Um,
I said that to you too. Is like, we had both heard the smoke around them taking a running back at that pick.
Everybody
And
did, but nobody actually believed it.
I just couldn't get there. Like, I was
Yeah,
like, it
because
doesn't make enough sense. Now, granted, with McDonald, listen, you take a safety in the second, corner in the third.
I was gonna say that safety in the second, Bud Clark. Bud Clark's a reach at 64. There's better
I
safeties
will
on the
say,
board at that
like I
time.
said, I'm
I like Bud Clark,
trusting McDonald.
but like Bud Clark, I would not have taken him over AJ Hulsey, who went 10 picks, 12 picks later to the Colts. I
Mhm.
Julian Neal is fine, but he's like a
Like I, s-
developmental cornerback.
but
It's
that's
guys
what I
like
say.
that.
Like, if it's developmental guys, I'm going to trust someone like Mike McDonald
Sure,
to make it work. Like, I would
sure.
trust Spags to make it work
Yeah, that's
because,
fair.
again,
I
like,
just
I've seen what the Ravens personnel looked like when he was there, and then what they looked like when he left, and it was mostly the same guys.
yeah.
Like,
I don't
like, he's a smart dude, so like I will give the benefit of the doubt to, I think he'll figure it out. Do I think that the Seahawks team was ever going to go on some like dynastic run? No. I think they're going to be very good, and he's going to get the most out of pretty much any defensive player that he drafts, for sure. But yeah, so that's why I was like, the running back thing was just confusing. It just felt odd to me. Which also, fun fact, last school to have two running backs go in the first round of the same class.
I saw that.
I got very close. So my initial thought was the Trent Richardson draft. For some reason, I thought
It's
it would
not
have been like, yeah, like
it's not bad.
2013 or whatever that was. That was not it. It was before
No.
that. And then I
Yeah.
immediately like thought it was going to be a lot earlier. But it was 2008. I'll give you that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was oh, it's coming back to me now. Oh, it's a weird school. It's like so random.
It's a Power Four.
Yeah, it's SEC.
Yep.
I'm losing it. I had it for a second.
One of them was a Heisman finalist.
Because they were both taken like top 10.
I'd have to double check that. I don't remember the actual pick numbers.
Cadillac Williams was one of the picks. I swear that's what I saw the other day.
No, they went 4 and 22.
No, I'm just thinking about Cadillac Williams, which he goes first round. Oh, that was 2005. So I'm thinking about it happened in 2005. Cadillac
Oh,
Williams and another running back went in that draft.
I can look at that too, just for the sake of it.
I have it pulled up already.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Ronnie Brown. Both went to Auburn. Both drafted in the top 5. Wow,
Sure,
that
yeah.
class is
It went
wild.
2-5. Yeah, that's wild.
And Cedric Benson went 4.
Weird. Um, but yeah, one of the names is definitely gettable. The other one,
Is it Oklahoma with Pete?
not Oklahoma, Arkansas.
Who came out of Arkansas in 2008?
Like I said, a Heisman finalist.
What team drafted him? Just so we can move on.
Ray.
Yeah, it's okay. So it's DMC. All right. Yeah, DMC. And then I couldn't even tell you who the other guy is.
So yeah, Darren McFadden and then Felix Jones.
Felix Jones to the Cowboys. Yeah.
Yep. It
Yeah,
was
I
one of
forgot
those
about
that
Felix Jones.
like know him.
Yeah.
Don't like
Yeah.
you could have given
He was
me.
never. He
My
never
buddy sent me
became
that,
that
and
guy.
he was just like, he's like, you know who the person is. And I was like, he finally gave it to me, and I was just like, man, we could have done this for 6 weeks, and I wouldn't have gotten there.
Yeah, I was thinking about a completely different draft class when you brought it up because I didn't see the DMC Felix Jones class. I saw Cadillac Williams and Ronnie Brown.
Gotcha, yeah. But
Like there
anyway,
was no shot I was ever getting that one. Yeah, getting
yeah.
back to
So
it.
very, very, yeah, that was just a nice little tidbit there. But yeah, odd pick there for sure. NFC
Uh,
West just very strange,
weird,
just in
weird
general.
draft too for all of them.
Yeah. My last loser is Bo Nix
Hmm.
because you weren't crazy about the Chargers draft itself. However, I didn't hate it because, again, like I feel like there was a clear plan on what they were doing.
Sure.
You get Akeem Mesidor who can come in and play right away. There's minimal development there. Ceiling probably not as high, but very productive player. Going to be productive day one, especially with Khalil Mack still being there. Liked that pick, and then they were aggressive on the offensive line.
Yeah.
Take Jake Slaughter in the second round, Travis Burke in the fourth, 2 guards in the sixth. Like they were saying, we are not letting the O line getting hurt completely ruin our lives again. The Raiders had a great weekend. They've had a great offseason in my eyes. Like I think I
Yeah.
said it in our mock, like I will be looking at them to be one of the scarier teams in the just a thorn in everybody's side in the AFC West in the next few years. The Chiefs retooled very well in this draft. They addressed their other needs in free agency with Kenneth Walker. Fixed, yeah, kind of like plugged holes there. And then the Broncos didn't pick until the third round. Is that what it was? Was that their first pick?
Something like that. Yeah. Like 68.
Yeah, something like that. And Sean Payton is how old? 62?
60, whatever.
He is 62. You have an aging coach. You have been good on your rookie deal so far. You do have Jalen Waddle now. I'll give you that.
Correct. Yeah.
But the rest of your division just retooled. Kubiak is a young, ascending offensive coach. Andy Reid is Andy Reid, and he's going to be great as long as he wants to be there. Chargers and Harbaugh. I mean, Harbaugh teams are always good,
Yeah.
no matter what. You just got to the AFC Championship game. There's now real pressure on you. I think this could go really sideways for the Broncos very quickly.
There's always that opportunity for it too.
Like if there is a team, because we get these like teams that pop for a couple of years and look like they're going to take off, and then that's where they peaked. Was very early in their runs. I I would be very nervous as a Broncos fan right now.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I don't necessarily like. It's just their draft kind of it is what it is with their
Mm.
picks and whatnot.
Like I said,
They have a
it's
more
less about what the Broncos did versus, and
what
more
everybody
about
else
like
did.
what everybody else did in that
I can't
division.
necessarily say Bo Nix is a loser in that realm, more so than
Hey,
just
he hasn't
looking
been
at.
paid yet.
I don't think he's eligible yet to get paid.
Well, that's what
He's
I'm saying. Is just like
well, yeah,
if it gets really weird on him really quickly here, that
yeah, but I mean, you can't. That's almost more of like a lock up the quarterback, so that way you don't have to worry about that position kind of thing if you trust him.
yeah, but that's what
So
I'm
I,
saying.
I
Is
think
like
I think that's
if
more.
if things really shift for him here before he's eligible to get that extension or that starts happening, I mean, maybe they go, all right, we're gonna wait a year. Maybe that was just a down year, but we want to see. We still have him locked up
I mean, it's all
on a
depends. Like
rookie
he could
deal.
still have a good year as a quarterback and the team underperform. I don't. Again, I don't think Bo Nix is
But I'm
that
saying that
great.
too. Like
Yeah,
he is definitely vulnerable to things getting weird for him as well.
sure. Um, I still have a couple winners and losers here. One of my favorite winners and my probably favorite overall pick in this class is Caden McDonald to the Texans. So
Mm.
Texans defense as a whole, specifically their front seven, got 10 times better than it already was. Caden McDonald is a true run stuffer. He's gonna eat up double teams like crazy, and Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson are gonna have a field day now. I mean,
Hmm.
more so than they already
Yeah.
have. So it's just like that front seven just got that much better. D'Amico Ryan's defense just got that much better with one pick, one singular pick who fits that team perfectly will allow them to truly get the most out of that front seven. I love it. It's my best player to team fit. I don't really have a whole lot else to say about it. Just they are going to be annoying as hell for the
Hmm.
next 4 years.
Definitely. That
Uh,
defense is so good.
yeah. How many winners, losers do you got left? Just before we run
I
through.
don't think we actually like got after it with the Raiders here, did we?
That was I was gonna bring them up
I was
next.
gonna say I
So
think that's the one. I mean,
they're my
obviously,
last winner.
you get the number one overall pick. You should have a good weekend, but
Correct.
I think you and I agree. Like they
They had more than a good weekend. They
crushed
had a
it.
great weekend. Yeah. They did fantastic. I love not every pick, but I love the majority of their picks. And then to be able to get Jamar McCoy in the fourth round, take a flyer on a guy who is coming off of a serious knee injury, and who has question marks going forward. You're getting that person who can be that performer for you for the long run. So
Mhm.
I like that idea there.
I liked that a lot. I liked the Mike Washington pick in the fourth round as just a second punch to go along with Genty and a speedy guy. Again, this weekend combined with retaining Max Crosby and
Hmm.
signing Linderbaum and bringing in Kubiak, like
Yeah,
it is the. I feel like the perception on them has really shifted
yeah,
from
100%.
what I said would be a concern as a Raiders fan, which is they have zero incentive to be good,
Hmm.
and they, obviously the ownership is what it is, but the last 4 months or so, it feels like it's a grown up organization again.
Yeah. The only issue with what they didn't do more so was draft a pass catcher
Mm.
at all. But You did one of my other favorite picks of the draft was trading Stooks in the second, early in the second. Safety corner hybrid, can play both positions. He's going to be a lot of fun, new kind of toy there for them to kind of play around with. So I like a lot of what they did. Um,
They
so
who did they signed a receiver or two, didn't they though?
nobody of value truly. Like they didn't bring
Didn't they
anything.
get they got Naylor, didn't they?
Sure.
I think
Yeah, but that's
that
not like a
was.
one. You don't
No, not a
have like
huge one, but
that's
like,
what I'm saying.
3 years, 35, but like it's something to go
But
along.
it's not a, like the guy. They don't have that guy. Is what I'm
No,
saying.
not yet. Yeah, that's fair. But in their defense too, I don't know where they were going to do that in this draft. Totally.
I mean, that's fair.
Defense, they did load up on defense here.
Yeah,
God
yeah, the
damn, I
defense looks a
forgot
lot
about
better.
that. Yeah, Quiddy Pay, N'Kobe Dean, Quay Walker,
Yeah,
Eric Stokes,
big
re-signed him.
linebacker. Yeah,
Taron
they kind of
Johnson.
transformed their entire defense a bit,
Yeah,
and it looks a lot better. And I'm sure Max Crosby's happy about that.
yeah.
Um,
And like I said too, you bring in Kubiak, he's gonna coach up your O line. It's
yeah,
going to open things up for Genti. It's going to simplify some stuff for Mendoza, take a little bit of pressure off of him.
yeah,
Um, where, in year one, not having a true
hmm
number one receiver isn't going to kill you, especially when you have Brock Bowers, too. That's the other part of it. Like, Brock Bowers is going to be getting a lot of targets regardless.
yeah. Um, Jumping back down to my losers. Other big team kind of loss here is the Jags. Your first pick of the draft is the third tight end off the board, and he's a blocking tight end.
Mm,
What are we doing? You're not like there was a lot of value on the board still at that time. I picked what was that 56, and I just don't love the direction in which you went.
mm-hmm.
But and then at pick 81, you take Albert Regis, who has a lot of upside, but like another like smaller non-pass rusher defensive tackle. You're their best pick by far is Emmanuel Perignon at 88. He is truly just a mean guard, gonna shore up that offensive line. And then outside of that, it's just like a lot of like dart throws and reaches on guys that aren't gonna, in my opinion, probably pan out. They took another tight end in the fifth round,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're taking dart throws on receivers in the sixth. Like you're just taking special team guys at that point, and
Yeah.
just
Yeah, it
not
wasn't like
they struggled to hit value
wasn't like
with
the
any of those
Ravens
picks.
taking two tight ends fairly quickly
Yeah, it
because
was
they
different.
have one on their roster.
But even then, the Raiders didn't, the Ravens didn't reach on a tight end in the second round.
That's true.
They
Yeah.
took them at value. But like
Yeah.
here, the Jags took what is his name, Borkircher at pick 56. He wasn't even talked about in the top 100, let alone
Hmm.
pick 56. So he must have been super high on their board. He felt like a need, and that's why they took him.
Yeah.
Which I love picking for need. Do that on day three. That is what day three is for. Do not pick for need in the second round.
Yeah.
It's just that overall to me just like really rubs me the wrong way. Um, and then my last loser on this board, and we were gonna get into it eventually, is Aaron Rodgers. I think what the Steelers kind of did this weekend puts the ball back into their
Yep. They
you
took control of the situation back for sure.
so first things first, you kind of fix your offensive line, which is not what I expected them to truly do in this draft.
Well, it's not what
But
they wanted to do,
no,
at least to start.
no, but they did it. I'm kind of happy about it. The more I sit on it, the more I love it. But
Mhm.
it's kind of just like that direction. And then in the third round at pick 76, you draft Drew Allard. If you've seen this show, everybody knows my thoughts on Drew. It is what it is. I'm not mad. I'm not upset. It's actually hilarious to me.
Yep.
So if
I
you
mean,
can, he has the traits that everybody wants in a quarterback. He just doesn't know how to use them. And it is pure comedy to
it's
me.
not so much that as much as it is, hey, can you remember how to use your gifts when there's less than 4 minutes left in the game? Because for 56 minutes, he will be efficient,
Yeah,
smart,
sure.
secure, and then for 4 minutes at the end of games, it's a completely different human being.
Yeah, I think it's that, and then there's more with it. He's such an inconsistent passer, and then some games he'll look like the best player in the country, and then other plays he'll look like you're undraftable.
Yeah. No,
But the
it
things
is
that he can
definitely fair
the things that he can learn are teachable, and you're going to what is known as one of the best coaches to work
for
quarterback.
young quarterbacks for sure. Yeah,
So
because that's
he's
the thing.
going into a situation that could bode very well for him.
You know what you can't teach?
That arm
6'5", 230,
and a big arm.
and
Yeah,
a
you can't teach that.
gigantic arm. Because that's the other thing too. He didn't start playing quarterback, I think, until he was like a junior in high school.
Yeah, I mean,
If I'm not
so
mistaken, like he was a
he
late
has
bloomer for sure.
yeah he has the abilities and traits to be a great quarterback,
Mm.
good quarterback. I'll give him potential good quarterback,
He's
but
got a very strange, like, that would be a very interesting thought experiment to try to go ceiling and floor on him.
regardless of all of that, Steelers thought highly enough of him to take him over other positions of need. They would to
Mm.
ensure that they got him with their first third round pick out of three. Doing so, I think that puts a ton of pressure on Rodgers. Like, hey, if you don't come back, we don't care.
Yeah. It gives it any leverage that Rodgers may have had with the Steelers, they took that back
Yeah, which they
with that
needed to
pick.
do
That
that this
is,
weekend.
yeah, especially
And
because it's been in January, they were saying they were expecting to hear from him within the next week. It's April. Still nothing. They said that they were expecting to hear before the draft. Nothing. Like,
yeah,
dude's playing mind games, and the Steelers, again, like, they're a buttoned up organization. Antonio Brown and his antics never got out until he left. Le'Veon Bell, same thing. Santonio. I mean, you go through the list of guys that
hmm
have been there that the second they leave, all sorts of shit is coming out about them. But so Rogers doing that on the scale that he does, I know
correct.
has to rub people the wrong way in that building.
Yeah, and I also just think overall it is a benefit to the organization if Rodgers just doesn't come back as a whole, because that lets the Steelers go in a direction they need to go to. They let the young quarterbacks try to figure it out. Because if they have something in Alar or if they have something in Will Howard, you know that. But if Rodgers
Yeah,
comes
in
back, he
theory, like,
stunts both of them.
yeah. Again, I agree with all that if they didn't hire Mike McCarthy. Because that is the
Yeah,
other, like, that's just the one odd piece of it where, like, you brought him in because you're trying to extend the window.
sure. And I'm not saying that anything. You want to win.
Mm,
At the end of the day, that is the name of the game,
right.
winning football.
You play to win the game.
Yeah, I'd be pissed if they go out there and lose 16 games. Actually, I wouldn't be pissed. I think it would be hilarious. But it's
It's very true.
it's just I want to know what to expect. Because like if you don't think of shit of these two quarterbacks you just drafted, I want to get that out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
So that way I can know if I should plan to expect a new quarterback on this roster next year or what your plan is. I don't want to keep questioning this team again and again.
Yeah.
So I think Rodgers not coming back allows them to kind of see a little bit more into what they are expectant within this roster in this upcoming season.
And I do think
But
putting your eggs in the basket of Aller gets you out of purgatory one way or the other.
exactly, just
It's
like
either
one of them.
hitting or it's going to flop, and then you can
You,
take it seriously again.
you
Take the
can
position.
actually, yeah, you can build the roster. Just
Mm.
let it happen. And the refusal to do so is painful in this
Yes.
city.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that is my thoughts on it, and that's kind of all I got.
Yeah. 4-13 wouldn't hurt them.
No, certainly wouldn't.
All right. That's all I got. Fun weekend.
Yeah.
Fun watching it all. Do appreciate it every year. And then we got what? In about 2 weeks, we have schedule release, and I cannot wait for that.
Yeah, it's always an exciting time here.
That is my favorite one. You have the draft. Mine is schedule release. Who's traveling where?
I understand. It's where your betting starts, so.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's get out of here.
Yeah, that's all I got.